Well, hello, friends info. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday thus far. We are going to talk about the court case that just, oh, I hear myself. Whoops. Um, yeah, we're going to talk about the court case that just happened. So, just like last time, I did my best to transcribe as we went and then shorthanded my notes and then went back through and tried to make sure I got everything as accurate as possible. Now, I will remind you this is LawCow and LawCow. There's no winners in situations like this. This is exactly why I will continue to name and shame every single person that misuses the courts for stupid, petty bullshit on YouTube. This was such a burden and a waste of multiple courtrooms, not just municipal court, but also superior court. And if things don't change, well, I guess it's progressively getting more normalized that this is the acceptable manner which grown adults seek revenge on each other by using courts. It's kind of gross if you ask me, but we got a lot to talk about. So let's go. Hello, everybody. First and foremost, I want to just put it out here. I'm not sure where all of this misinformation is getting spread this fast, but my phone's been blowing up with blatant misinformation for the last hour. Blatant disregard for the truth. And I mean, if that's what you want to do, please do that. Just keep it away from this place because that's not how this is going to go. I did my very best to accurately write the most important pieces of this. So there will be some direct quotes, some summaries, things of that nature. But I did my best to it's of course not going to include the some of that stuff. But I typed like a son of a bitch. And thank God my nails are short right now because let me just say my little fat fingers were moving like a motherfucker today. But we got some shit to discuss, so I will do my best to adequately give you a summary of today's events, just like we have been all along. And I really do hope moving forward that this teaches people a lesson. I don't think it will. I think we are actually going to see further misuse of the courts. I hate to say that. It's already happening in other little communities. But this isn't a win for anybody. It's actually a loss for victims who can't get courts to recognize that they're victims, who do not get adequate justice. It's actually a fucking stain on our justice system all the way around when you weaponize and misuse courts. And before all these people go out here telling you that I got my ass chewed, no, we all did. Every single person in that courtroom today was addressed as a group collectively. But we'll get into that because I love how people like to misrepresent something. And before I begin, can I just give a huge standing ovation to my partner in crime, I guess people are calling her, allegedly speculating. Some of you owe her a hell of an apology. Because not only was she highlighted in court today, the prosecutor also spoke to the accuracy of her reporting and how her integrity of going about doing all of this the legal way was extremely helpful. Not only that, but he watched some of her summaries multiple times because they were so helpful, and he used them to find out other things that he didn't know. So, huge shout out to Allegedly Speculating, who was recognized for her factual, accurate reporting, who has taught me a hell of a lot through this. And I could not be more proud to stand beside her. Because when other people are running around acting like jackasses, she has just kept her integrity intact. Bog, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Joe Reese, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. Cher, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Appreciate you. Here, Kitty Kitty, thank you for another 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. And Real Body, thank you so much for your continued support and being a member for 18 months. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. All right. So I'm not going to go through and say hello to everybody. Mods, you know the drill. Kick them. There's no use for bullshit over here today. Never has been. So let's get into it. All right. So I'll first go through and read this as accurately as possible. You will have to give me a little bit of time in between some of these. Hold on. Because there's a lot. This was about a 30-minute from start to finish proceeding. Oh, okay, let's start there. So there was about an additional 10 viewers. I'm not going to say their names. I did make note of who was there. Yeah, it's a big deal, Jen Lu. It's a big deal. He definitely made a point to point out how accurate she was and how much that actually helped him. So there was about 10 additional random people in the courtroom. UA was one of them. Myself, Allegedly Speculating. The rest of them you had to use your real name. I don't know if some people thought that they were just going to be able to not. But there was about 10 in total that were just observers. The only other one that I recognized from a YouTube channel, because a lot of people had their YouTube channels as their name on their Zoom, which, word to the wise, anytime you go into a courtroom, having your YouTube handle probably is going to be frowned upon. Probably stick to your name, because they made everybody change it. So UA was there. The Scoop with Barb, myself, Allegedly Speculating. Other people want to tell you they were there, they can do that. But they had to switch their names to regular names. So I don't want to put all of that out here. That's not why I was there. So let's get into this. So it started off, everybody was sitting there. And one thing that was really interesting to me is all of us observers were pretty much in the room, and you could see. So today they had a view of the actual courtroom. So we could see that Julie and Al were present in the courtroom, and you could see the prosecutor. So you could get a view today. That wasn't there the last time. We did not get that view of the prosecutor the last time. Hold on. I don't think it's over. I think Julie is up to something, and she will be doing more. What do you think? I don't think she is just going to drop it. Well, Southern Mimi, that's hard to predict. Thank you for the support. That's extremely hard to predict with her. I don't know what to even say about that. I don't think, Wolfie, I don't think they necessarily doxed themselves for this. A lot of these people probably go by their real names. I just don't know who they are, nor does it really matter. They were just observers to a public court hearing. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that. The only ones I recognize were that. So before the proceeding actually happened, we had a view of the prosecutor, Mr. LaSalle, coming out, pulling up a chair and sitting down next to Julie and Al. You could see that they were having communication. Then he got up, put the chair back, and left out, probably to his office, I'm assuming. In that time frame, BJ and Craig show up on the Zoom, which I was actually shocked by. None of today went how I expected it to. And let me just be very transparent right up front. I don't know where this whole thing of there was fucking some huge mind-blowing information that was supposed to be coming out in this, because that's definitely not what happened. Unless people knew she was going to drop the charges. I have no idea. But this is not how I predicted today to go at all. Like, not one bit. So I don't know where this like big salacious bombshell rumor is coming from. But this, I don't think anybody knew that she was going to be withdrawing charges today. Like I said, people, I could be wrong, but that's that. So the judge seats everybody. He's seated, of course. A lot of this is formalities, but just jotting and going through my notes, so take it for what it is. He introduces himself to Brittany. He says that he has a summons. He goes over the complaint number, and he says that it alleges on December 4th, 2025, that he has a complaint for harassment. He asks if she's familiar with the complaint, to which she kind of hums and haws. And she says, like, that's kind of her response. And then she said something to the effect of, I'm not sure, something about Julie. It was kind of hard for me to catch. So I'll just be honest with you. Like, if I don't have it, every little detail, you guys, I'm probably going to ignore the super stickers until the end. Feel free to ask questions, but I'm probably going to, because it's going to take me off track every time. So I appreciate your support so much, but I'm going to try to get through this as cohesively as possible, especially because there is nothing but misinformation swirling about this. And it's really interesting to me. But what do I know? By the way, you can also opera request the audio of this court hearing. So if you are not happy with hearing my breakdown, allegedly speculating, or whoever is giving a breakdown from today, you can absolutely opera request this yourself. You will get the court audio of today. You can listen to it yourself. That's that. So, oh, and another thing I have learned in the last few days, which I was pretty confident in before, but 100% factual, the RO has been tossed out of Superior Court. That was also dismissed previously. That is exactly why we did not see a puff of the chest and this big, huge show about him, or there has been no further attempts to violate him. The RO was dismissed, which I don't know why people weren't honest about either, but, another day. So none of these cases exist. There is nothing in Superior Court right now with the RO at this point in time, and there is nothing in municipal court. It has been dismissed. Okay, so she basically haws around, and he says, okay, are you familiar with the complaint? She says, no, I'm not familiar with the complaint. And the judge takes over and says, okay, you were supposed to be here last time. You didn't appear. You were here on April 1st. He continues, and she says, yes, sir. He says, not a problem. Then they go on to talk about the date. So again, December 4th, 2025, BJ repeated threatening statements and alarming, menacing conduct to Skolnick, specifically by communicating electronically over social media. Julie Skolnick did suggest bodily harm and death, causing fear and emotional distress to her. Also, knowingly displayed content of an autistic son through videos and social media. Police reports were made in the jurisdiction of North Halden, and a civil complaint was signed. Now, that's not exact verbiage. This is shorthand notes. Then he goes on to say, also, Mr. Craig Black, he uses his full name. Are you here in this session? Craig responds and says, yes, sir. The judge carries on and says, all right. So you were charged on a summons, gives the complaint number, making statements of alarming and menacing conduct, also to Julie Skolnick, in violation of 2C, you know, the drill, the harassment statute. Sometimes this shit just annoys me. The New Jersey statute for harassment, a petty disorderly persons offense. In any event, you're here today, and I'm glad for that. Then the judge says, Mr. LaSalle, please enter your appearance. Pretty formal. I mean, these are just pretty typical things. The prosecutor, Mr. LaSalle, municipal prosecutor appearing on behalf of the state of New Jersey, enters his appearance. He says, okay, what is going to happen with this case? This is the judge speaking. They recognize that Craig, BJ, and Skolnick are all present. Goes on to say, Ms. Skolnick, who is present in court, has advised me within the last couple days that she wishes to withdraw these complaints. And I have explained to her that Your Honor will question her as to this being voluntary. The judge says, I will do that, yes. The prosecutor continues. We have a number of spectators here. There is 5 to 10 minutes worth of history that I need to provide Your Honor or the court. I don't remember which one was said, one of the two, because this case goes beyond the charges that you read to BJ and Craig. Judge, I don't know if you want to question Ms. Skolnick first as to her withdrawal, or if you want to hear me first. The judge says, is that what you're requesting of the court, that the charges be dismissed? The prosecutor says, yes. The judge says, okay. The prosecutor says, on Ms. Skolnick's behalf, yes. Then they say, BJ, of course she's being addressed by her name, do you understand what the prosecutor just indicated to the court? She pipes up and says, yes. And Craig, do you understand? He responds, yes. Then it carries on. Mr. LaSalle has indicated to the court that you wish to withdraw. He's addressing Julie right now. You wish to withdraw these charges against BJ and Craig. Is that correct? Are you doing so freely and voluntarily? Has anyone forced you or promised you anything in exchange for your withdrawal of these charges? I tried to get this as accurate as possible because this was important. Julie responds and says no. Judge continues. Are you under fear, threat, or intimidation by either Craig or BJ to withdraw these charges? Julie responds, no, sir. Judge asks, are you doing this of your own free will? She responds, yes. Judge asks, you're not under the influence of any medication today that would, and then I didn't catch this exactly what he asked, but basically alter her mind frame. She says, no, totally understand. There's some back and forth that it was kind of inaudible for me to understand. Then it's mentioned that she prepared her statement. They say she can read her statement, Judge. It's the appropriate timing, basically. Then they move the mic closer to her. Julie says, and this is a direct quote. Yeah, this is all just very standard protocol. This is her statement. And I have verified that I got the same thing that allegedly speculating did in this portion because this was one of the most important pieces to me. Your Honor, reasons of an important personal and time-dependent matter, I'm asking the court to allow me to withdraw all my citizens' complaints against the parties involved. The need for my request to withdraw all complaints in this case is known to the prosecutor and is of a sensitive nature that my family and I wish to remain private. So I humbly ask to make this request to your honor on my own without pressure or influence of others. Thank you. Did you catch that? Julie's statement to the court, once again. Your Honor, reasons of an important personal and time-dependent matter, I'm asking the court to allow me to withdraw all of my citizens' complaints against the parties involved. The need for my request to withdraw all complaints in this case is known to the prosecutor and is of a sensitive nature that my family and I wish to remain private. So I humbly ask to make this request to your honor on my own without pressure or influence of others. Thank you. The judge says, thank you. And then he addresses Mr. LaSalle and he said, you wanted to address the court regarding these matters, correct? Mr. LaSalle says, yes. The judge says, basically, carry on. Now, this is going to get kind of shorthand, so bear with me here because he was talking faster than my little fat fingers can type. Oh, one thing I do want to point out, though, right quick, is her volunteering withdrawing. I think that kind of speaks to the fact that the state did not pick this up. If she was able to voluntarily withdraw these complaints, it once again goes to show that this was never picked up by the state. The municipal prosecutor representing her was a formality of how these private citizens' complaints work. The state never picked this up. This was never a thing where the district attorney, whatever you want to call it, because that's always semantics around that too, that should be of major importance to everybody who has lied about that continually, that she was able to choose to withdraw. So there's that. All right. Carrying forward. And thankfully, allegedly speculating, we'll be doing a synopsis too. And I'm sure it will be way more detailed than mine because she's good at this shit. I'm not true crime. I'm just an observer and a spectator to the shit show of the lies of two LawCows. But whatever. So he talks about how the case came to him every other way, or the same way every other case comes to him. The ordinary course. This case involved civilian complaints. They were originally written as fourth-degree cyber harassment being the conduct that is alleged, appeared on YouTube. In the course of prosecuting this matter, as I'm required to do, and when there's a civilian's complaint, I interviewed Ms. Skolnick, and we had a preliminary hearing on April 1st, at which time I was in my office adjacent to the court on his prosecutor's breakout room with Ms. Skolnick, Ms. Jackson, and Mr. Craig, another person who he identified as SD again. We all know who that is, which was just another defendant. Somebody managed to infiltrate that and put it onto the internet. A 13-minute private Zoom breakout session. The judge says, this is a private session, right? And the prosecutor continues, yes. Both defendants, yes. Ms. Skolnick, yes. Prosecutor continues, nobody knew it was being secretly tape recorded. I don't know how many thousands of times it's been viewed at this point. He carries on. In the prior court appearance, I said 50,000 because that's what Mrs. Skolnick had told me, but I don't know how many. It's beyond ridiculous. Judge, I have to make these comments because I feel our court is being weaponized inappropriately, and I don't want that to happen anymore. I completely respect Ms. Skolnick's decision that she just announced not to pursue this case. In fact, I admire her for that fact. In fact, I commend her for that. Judge goes, I did make note of that because I was watching his face. He goes on to say, I would encourage anyone who is visiting with us today to consider doing the same thing as Ms. Skolnick is doing. Well, sir, let's just be truthful here. None of us are taking out private citizens' complaints and lying in police reports, but that's for another day. I have learned, he's addressing the judge, the prosecutor, from watching, and I say this on the souls of my family. This is what he said. Direct quote again. I say this on the souls of my family. 50 to 100 hours, he's watched 50 to 100 hours of videos on this case. And then he follows it up and says, I'm not exaggerating. It's all over the place. There's one particular lady, I'm going to say this to her in a complimentary manner, and I'll just use her initials. Her online screen initials are AS. Shout out, allegedly speculating. She did a 2-hour, 37-minute, 59-second presentation on this case, basically from start to finish. And I compliment her because it was very honest. She downloaded all the police reports from opera requests, and I'll speak about the opera in a minute. But she put up every police report in chronological order, all the conversations, and it's accurate. And she, this particular lady that I'm talking about, kept her own feelings out of it for the most part. But from what I've learned, Judge, there are people in this world that hate Julie Skolnick. And there are people in this world that hate Brittany Jackson. And there are people that hate both Brittany and Julie. But they hate one more than the other. To which I just kind of sat there and went, oh, all right. Well, we're finally catching up. They're LawCows. I mean, okay, cool. Cool story. Well, one thing interesting. So she didn't have a side swoop or a side ponytail going on, but we did get a view of her. And my interpretation is that she puffed her hair exceptionally big today and tried to blink out her face as much as possible. She had this front comb over thing going on where there was just a little bit of her face showing. It was kind of weird, but I mean, good for her. She hid behind her hair, or attempted to, but you know, better than the fucking side ponytail. Yeah, I was kind of like, oh shit. Yeah, that's what it is. He goes on to say, and I can't control that. I don't condone it, but this is what YouTube is. It's the internet. I mean, it's a tremendous benefit to everybody. It can be abused, just like opera can be abused. Now, this lady, I really made sure to pay attention here because my girl was getting a shout out from the prosecutor in a courtroom, which was pretty amazing because she's been drug all over for nothing. But anyways, now this lady allegedly speculating, he referenced her as AS. She did everything legally, and I have no problem with that. In fact, I've watched her 2-hour, 37-minute video 3 or 4 times. And I recently watched some of her other videos where she reports on these things, and she keeps her own opinions out of it. In fact, I've learned from watching her that she doesn't like Brittany more than Julie. Nevertheless, opera, I am not in the legislature. I'm not the governor. I'm simply a prosecutor doing my job. Opera exists for very valid reasons, but is subject to abuse. I'm not suggesting that anybody abused it here, but we need to be careful, especially when there are sensitivities involved. I'm talking about children or spouses, interfamily issues, things of that nature. In this case, it's not that. The first time I met Julie, I said to her, how do you know these people? And she said, I don't really know them. I know them, through YouTube. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're 600 miles away from here or whatever in the Carolinas. They've never met. But I learned through this case that people have tremendously different opinions. I'm trying to be as kind as I can. Our court is not equipped. Let me back up, Judge. Okay, now this part kind of gave me an eye roll, but whatever. God chose to put 8 billion of us on this planet at one time. It is inevitable that some of us are going to say and do some things that are going to offend other people. I get it. I offend people when I don't pull away from a red traffic light when it turns green in less than a millionth of a second. This is the prosecutor. I get horns blown at me and hand gestures, but I don't really care. But harassment, like love, is in the eyes of the beholder. I started to question where we were going at this moment in my life, but I just sat still. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah, we can hear you, sir. We heard you perfectly well. So what bothers me might not bother someone else. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, again. What I don't respect is that our court is being weaponized and monetized because these people get paid on YouTube. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. Apparently, YouTube has no problem with it. So that's none of my business. I stay out of it because I choose to stay out of it. Judge, that 13-minute prosecutor's video, just to give you an example, the judge cuts him off and says, "Did you report it?" He says, "Yes." "It's been reported already," he says. And then I don't remember if this was him or the other person, says, "That's a good question. Judge, this case started with a referral to Passaic County Prosecutor's Office. Even though it alleges cyber harassment, which is not recognizable in this court, it's an indictable offense." Talking about the recording. Because it's an indictable offense, nevertheless, it was sent back here as simple harassment. Now it's cyber because then they go into the definition of something. I bleeped that out because I don't understand what the fuck was being said. Look to allegedly speculating for better. Anywho, this is the part that really starts getting my ears perk up again. Because here's the prosecutor. The prosecutor says, "I got an email, Judge, from somebody in like Arizona. And I'm just holding up a piece of paper and you can see there's all these little colored blurbs, links. And I clicked on every one of these videos and I watched every one of these videos, which were disparaging to Miss Skolnick. So let me explain something. I did not email the prosecutor my fucking videos. I emailed the prosecutor one time only, with a forward of the exact original email that was sent to me with the docket dude's link attached. Somebody sent a spreadsheet of sorts of every one of my videos, my links that I have done on Julie, to the prosecutor. You think I'm going to do that? You think I'm going to send the prosecutor all of my own videos? You're fucking stupid. And I dare you to prove it. Prove it that it was me, because it's not. It was never me. But that is why they are running around saying I sent an email to the prosecutor, because that's exactly what was said. But again, what is being said is misrepresented, because those were a woman in Arizona, my videos that he clicked disparaging Miss Skolnick. But they weren't sent by me. I wonder if he liked my thumbnails. You want me to do some of you, Mr. LaSalle? Actually, I was kind of impressed with him today. He held up a fucking entire sheet, I tell you. And it was all my videos. I'm like, oh, the fuck is going on here? Well, thanks for the promotion, you dumb fuck. Whoever did that, good try. Good try. Poor Julie. Why would you send him all my videos about Julie? Like, what? I have nothing to do with the case, but okay, sure. But again, I ask you to prove it, because you'll never be able to prove a fucking second that it was me that emailed him. I don't know the royal we. I have no idea if he just misspoke and said that they emailed him about a lady in Arizona. That could have been easily misconstrued by him, because he doesn't really understand the social media world. That was pretty clear. So I don't know if he just misrepresented, like he got an email about a woman in Arizona that made all these videos about Julie, or if somebody impersonated me and pretended that was me and sent him all of my videos. I mean, it's just, that is so counterproductive and stupid to begin with. Anybody with a brain knows that that's not going to be something I do. I don't know, Wabi Sabi. That's another interesting part because it was obviously mentioned that I was from Arizona. So kind of reminds me of other situations, but I digress. Anyways, he goes on to say, it's amazing the kind of anger and hatred that's out there. Yeah, well, sir, when she's lying on you saying that you're doing things to her children that aren't, you kind of get a little rage induced at moments because it's kind of a big deal when a bitch is weaponizing the courts and police to lie about people, but whatever. He goes on to say he would love to cure this. I don't know what the fuck he's curing. It's not like it's goddamn herpes or some shit, but whatever. But he says he's not that good. There's nothing he can do to solve it. He goes on to say, this is the kind of case that I will encourage, and Miss Skolnick has taken the time, initiative to do without my suggestion. If you're interested in my thought as a human being, not even as a prosecutor or a lawyer, is why don't we all just do what we were taught to do by our parents, which is to treat people with kindness and courtesy and human decency, understanding, patience, and compassion and empathy. And that's what we need. I mean, to ridicule a person's appearance right now might probably like they don't like my tie. I don't know. They don't what they don't like about me. But that's, like I said, that doesn't bother me. Well, it seems to have kind of bothered you, sir. But that's just completely overbearing. That doesn't mean there's any criminality involved. Unkindness is not forbidden by law. And that's possibly part of the reason, Julie's reasons. And to the extent that I choose not to disclose them out of respect for her. But now, with the help of other people involved all over the country, I'm talking about Arizona. Shout out nonsense. Come visit, sir. It's actually a beautiful state. It's hot as fuck here. You'll sweat in places that are unholy, and you'll understand what's rage-inducing. Casual art. He was really offended. He's really offended. And I think he might have watched the video with me showing Lesniak's hairline a few times and thought I was probably going to do the same to him. But, I mean, you don't got that bad of a hairline, sir. You're good. You're good. In fact, you kind of remind me of, like, a nice old grandpa. Oh, God. Then he goes on, and I'm telling everyone listening, I hope there's no recording. Yeah, no, some of us fucking got that memo the first 1,500 times when we were, in my opinion, being intentionally set up to make it look like we fucking recorded some goddamn video, which that'll never happen. But anywho, he says he hopes that nobody's recording, no screenshots, anything like that. Of course, we can take our notes. Now, this set me off. Privately. Of course, I didn't unmute. I'm extremely respectful and conduct myself appropriately. But he goes on to say this has taken a life of its own. It's gotten traction more than what's in the news now about Carmelo Anthony's murder conviction. My mouth pretty much dropped on the fucking floor. If you think that Julie versus BJ has gotten more traction than Carmelo Anthony's case, you, sir, are completely head up your ass. But I'll leave that there. I thought that was incredibly out of place. Incredibly. Yeah, he did. 100%. They can back me up in the chat. The people that were there. He absolutely says it's gotten traction more than what's in the news now of Carmelo Anthony's murder conviction. And I was pissed. But I didn't say anything. I was just like, wow, that is so untrue. So untrue. He says it's unbelievable. Then the judge says, okay, finish up, Mr. LaSalle. He goes on to say, I don't want anybody to misconstrue her withdrawal of these complaints as being energized, because that's not what it is. That's a direct quote. I don't want anybody to construe her withdrawal of these complaints as being energized, because that's not what it is. I don't want today's proceedings to result in heightened discourtesy towards anybody. And certainly when I say not weaponize us, our police department is open 24/7, 365. Your Honor and I are here. Our court staff are here to entertain anybody's complaint for anything. And then it goes through the screening process. That's certainly open to everybody at any time. I'm not suggesting it's not. I just don't think this case warrants the kind of energy that it's gotten. My integrity has been impunged in this case. And it's partially for the reason that people know one side of this, just like I only know one side of this. The way our court system works is when I represent an alleged victim complainant as Julie, I only hear her side of it. I don't hear the other side of it until I get an email like this or some of the other communications that I've gotten that I can investigate. I'm not going to call BJ or Craig and ask them for their versions. The judge says you cannot. He carries on and says that would be grossly improper. The judge says the defendant in this matter, the defendant in any matter is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The prosecutor continues and says, BJ has chosen to share some things with me, which I respect, and I've accepted, and I acknowledge and receive thereof. You know, Judge, I've been doing this for 49 years. I spent 17 years as a member of the New Jersey Supreme Court Ethics Committee. That was interesting to me. My integrity and my ethics are paramount to me. Now, part of my comments back on, I think it was May 13th, I said, was talking about, Julie, there was a comment by one of the defendants about, we know where you live. We know where your husband lives. We know where your neighborhood. And I interjected because that's my personality. I said, her neighborhood? I live in her neighborhood. Well, guess what? We're in North Haledon, which is this big. It's 3 square miles, including water and woods. Something about 1.8 miles. That's what I got written down. I don't fucking know. Don't ask me. He was given way too much detailed information according to his car odometer. This was his speech. From our northernmost border to our southernmost border, we are less than 9,000 people. I've lived here since the 1970s when I was a teenager. Somebody says something, I couldn't understand it. My parents lived here. My brother lives here. Blah, blah, blah. I think that was the judge that said blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure, but somebody said blah, blah. I caught it. He still lives there. He knows everybody. My parents used to own a business there. I was like, okay, all right. And here we go. I've been in this court prosecuting something solicitation, so it's inevitable. But he doesn't want it suggested in any way that he compromised his integrity because he's afraid, because I'm a neighbor to Julie, who I've never met in my life until 2 months ago. Maybe she shops at the same supermarket that I do. But other than that, I've never met her to my knowledge. And to suggest that I am either intimidated by these or other interaction from outside the court that this has in any way influenced me, nothing can be further from the truth. The judge pipes in and says, Mr. LaSalle, your integrity is unquestioned in this court, in this county, and in this state. The prosecutor continues. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that very much. I just don't want anyone walking away or anyone walking out of here thinking, oh, the fix was in. Somebody told somebody something. Somebody shook hands on the side. That didn't happen. I investigated this case just like I investigate any case written by any of my police officers. Some are who's standing here now. And that is, I get both sides of the story. And sometimes there's a side of the story that I didn't hear. Then he goes on to talk about a speeding ticket, which I didn't write down all of it. Something about an elderly person falling. He gives examples of stuff. And then he goes, I love my job. I don't want to lose my job over something like this. I just don't want anyone to think that anything went in any way sideways here because it didn't. I watched all those videos. And like I said, as far as as far as she's concerned, her reports were extremely helpful to me. She oriented me towards things that I was suspicious. There's a few words in there that are missing. She pointed me to things where things looked a little suspicious, and I'm addressing those things now. The judge says, "You have no concern before this court." He continues. The judge says, "Like I said, I know your integrity. You appeared in front of this court not only as a prosecutor, but as a defense attorney, and there's no question in my mind about your integrity, Mr. LaSalle." Okay, so the prosecutor continues on. "Judge, this is a First Amendment case. I completely respect the First Amendment." Then he asks the judge, he says, "I'm being a little rhetorical. Was it the first day of law school or the second day of law school when you and I were taught that the First Amendment means you cannot shout out what word in a crowded theater?" They both say fire. "You can't shout out fire. And those are not my words. That's the United States Supreme Court, like 100 years ago. I don't even know the name of the case anymore. The First Amendment is not absolute. The First Amendment needs to be tempered." The judge says, he nods. The prosecutor continues. Oh, this is a lot. "I defend everyone's ability to exercise their right under the First Amendment, but not as a weapon. And Judge, this is something else that a lot of these people observing, even those like AS, who's tried to be completely, watching her is like watching like a counterpart. She gives everybody both sides of the equation, and I respect that. But I have an oath that these people, Your Honor knows about it. Some of the attorneys sitting here in this room know about it. I took an oath. And the New Jersey Supreme Court tells me, and every other prosecutor, well, whether it's on the municipal level or the county level or the New Jersey Attorney General's office, my obligation. I forget the name of the case, but it's a New Jersey Supreme Court case. I have it memorized in terms of its content. The duty of a prosecutor is not necessarily to seek a conviction, but to see that justice is done. I wish I could achieve justice in this case, Judge. I hope, Your Honor," the judge cuts him off and says, "Well," he continues, "can put everyone at rest that their case has gotten extremely diligent attention from this court and that we would love to do justice among these people. But at some point, these people need to take the bull by the horns themselves and bring justice into their own lives." Oh, okay. Now to the judge's scolding. He was really concerned, Rebel Soul, about his integrity being questioned because of the slip up of the neighbor thing. Let me check these really quick. My take is that the charges were dropped because the RO had no validity. Julie needed the RO because she used the same police reports in both cases. Tara, thank you so much for the support, which is interesting because the last court date that was actually already dismissed, but it was presented as if it was still intact, which I find to be very disingenuous on Julie's part if she did not inform the prosecutor that it was already completed, because he did say that it was completed during the last hearing, but he did not say that it was dismissed, which I find to be very disingenuous on her part, not his, because obviously he didn't pull the records to see if it was in place or not. So thank you for the support. In the Pines, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to the Cabana. Icy Blue Bitch, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Cabana. Future reference, the questions the judge asks is a standard in all courts. It's called colloquy. Yeah, sure, that word. Kathy, we're lucky that I can understand my own scribble right now. These are all this is the standard protocol, though. It was nothing. It was actually pretty embarrassing. Yeah, I wasn't embarrassed at all. I don't know how they think I got scolded. You heard what happened. I didn't get scolded at all. Like, I'm going to do my content the way I like. Do you think I'm going to run around wanting Mr. LaSalle to check my content if it's acceptable? No, sir, you don't know what a fucking problem this woman is. Thanks. And thank you, Kathy, for the support. Marcy, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. Appreciate it. FU, thank you for being a member for 6 months and your continued support. Appreciate you. I sent you an email. It is the reason why she withdrew her complaint. It's been posted on Twitter. Okay, well, let's take a quick little break because I have to read through the judges. The judges, what? 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 Are you fucking kidding me? Bog, thank you so much for the support, but what? Okay, first of all, let me just show you this really quick because what the fuck? Julie posted this on her TikTok about an hour and a half ago. So let's start with that. I'll finish the judge's statement actually was very, very spot on. That's what's funny to me is people are like, oh my God, Becky got it. Nonsense got her ass chewed. No, the fuck I didn't. Everybody that was listening should have paid attention. It was very clear that the judge and the prosecutor have no idea where social media is headed. And the fact that they were very clear that the courts and police should not be weaponized for this type of bullshit, which I absolutely stand with. 100% agree. Good job, prosecutor and judge. Way to catch up. Yeah. Julie, once again, is tone deaf like a motherfucker. But this is what she posted at the end of court. Justice too long delayed is justice denied. The entitlement continues. Fucking disgusting, if you ask me. Considering. Anywho. Aunt Kathy is saying, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Okay, so I'm going to read this post. So this looks like it was posted by Brandy Wine. I'm assuming I can share this because it's on Twitter, correct? I'm not sharing anybody's private messages, Bog. Yeah, the RO was tossed, you guys. The RO was tossed a while ago. Sorry, looking for Bog to give me the permission to show it. You okay with me showing it, Bog? I'm assuming so. Fuck, this is so confusing. Oh, and by the way, those blaming me that I did something here, yeah, we called that from the start of my coverage that I would be the fall guy when this didn't go her way. I mean, nothing shocking at this point. We knew that was going to be, but okay, thank you, Bog. But this is what was posted. I don't fucking know. Julie said that it was going to be delayed again because BJ was going to request a public defender. Well, why wouldn't she? You even told her that was, hold the fuck up. You even told her that she could do that. Like, what are you doing here? What, Julie? Why are you? What? And she can't go on with it being delayed any longer. The ongoing harassment of her family has gone on to her other family and the boys. Stuff has happened that no one is aware of. She has also been in the background working on getting everything together for surgery. She is donating a kidney to her friend. It has to be done before July 1st because timing is running out. She gave me permission to share that. I mean, if that's true that she's donating a kidney to her friend, amazing. That's awesome. But what? if it's the harassment has escalated, you're not, this is so fucking Lauren Matthias, for God's sakes. This is exactly why I can't take you people seriously. Lauren Matthias withdrew her complaint and then came on social media, did a 9-hour thing about how she was being stalked. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Seriously? Like, if you're donating a kidney, cool. That's great. Amazing. Way to help out your friend. Awesome. But if your family is further being harassed and put in danger, as you are claiming, you wouldn't withdraw the complaint. In fact, you would refile and you wouldn't be lying in police reports. Number one, you would have stuck to the fucking facts. Number two, never mind. Let me just stop my fucking mouth because, oh my God. But don't ever complain about her potentially getting a public defender, bitch, because you on May 13th said this.
Prosecutors do. That's his job. His job. If the defendants had been there with an attorney, a court-appointed one, if they had asked for one, they could have applied to get a court-appointed attorney, a public defender, essentially. And they would have done the same thing.
You told her that was available for her to use. Just like all the rest of us. It was something that was mentioned. It was offered to all of the cases. You even said it to her. So now you withdrew because they were going to request a public defender, but you told her that she... Get out of here. I can't with some of you people. Oh my God. Okay, anyways. What the hell? 58 and Fabulous, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Duchess, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. Love ya.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
All right. Let's finish this. Because what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Oh, LawCow on LawCow crime does not pay. It does not pay to be an idiot. Okay. The judge starts off and says there's 3 parties that are affected by this: Ms. Skolnick, BJ, and Craig. By what you're telling me, I appreciate your comments, Mr. LaSalle. Before I conclude this matter, I find it necessary to address the conduct that has surrounded these proceedings. Now, this is pretty accurate, as close as I could get it. But again, fat fingers, haven't typed this fast in a long time because I was not ready for these lengthy speeches. But I did my best. And like I said, between me and allegedly speculating in our notes, I'm sure we'll get it pretty close to. But if you are not happy with our synopsises of the actual court events, please feel free to OPRA request the audio recording. They do not send you transcripts because they have to be sent out and there's an additional cost and time. But you can absolutely get the audio from the court hearing. That is your legal right. So if you are not happy with our summaries, OPRA, request it yourself and shut the fuck up. And I said what I said. Okay. The court notes that the underlying complaints are being dismissed at the request of the complainant, and therefore no findings of fact or determinations regarding the merits of the allegations have been made. Nothing stated by the court today should be interpreted as a finding that any party is guilty of any offense. That said, the court is deeply troubled by the conduct that has occurred during the pendency of these proceedings. The court has become aware of allegations that court proceedings have been recorded and disseminated without authorization, that private communications associated with these proceedings have been publicized through social media and other online platforms, and that various individuals aligned with both sides of this dispute have engaged in public commentary, podcasts, social media postings, recordings, and other communications concerning these matters. The court will not tolerate that conduct. It undermines the dignity, integrity, and security and orderly administration of justice. Court proceedings are not entertainment. Really? You might want to give a class on that to YouTube, because some people sure think they fucking are. That's why they continue to weaponize our courts, sir. Judicial proceedings are not vehicles for personal vendettas. I'm going to repeat that again. Judicial proceedings are not vehicles for personal vendettas. Public ridicule, online harassment, or social media campaigns. The courthouse exists to resolve disputes in a fair, orderly, and lawful manner. When participants or their supporters attempt to litigate matters through social media, public broadcasts, podcasts, recordings, or other online platforms, they risk compromising the judicial process and creating unnecessary hostility, intimidation, and security concerns. A particular concern to this court is that it jeopardizes the safety and security of not only the personnel, the litigants, the attorneys, the prosecutor, and the witnesses, also members of the public. No person appearing before this court has the right to engage in the behavior that threatens, intimidates, harasses, or places others at risk. Nor will the court tolerate efforts to use social media or public platforms to inflame tensions surrounding pending court matters. The court further reminds all persons present that unauthorized recording of the court proceedings, court personnel, or private court communications may and do violate court rules unless you are permitted to do so by the court. There might be a few miswords here, like small words, but this is pretty accurate. They also violate court directives and applicable laws and may be subject to individual sanctions or other appropriate legal action. The court expects that all participants and their advocates to comply with those requirements. The court also finds it necessary to address the overall tone and conduct demonstrated throughout this matter. Behavior exhibited by various individuals associated with both sides has reflected a level of immaturity and hostility that is inconsistent with respect owed to the judicial process. Regardless of personal disagreements, all participants are expected to conduct themselves with civility, restraint, and respect to the rule of law. Let me be clear. While these complaints are being dismissed today, the court decision should not be viewed as an endorsement of the conduct that has occurred. To the contrary, the court strongly commends any actions that undermine the administration of justice, threaten court security, harass participants, or bring disruption upon the judicial process. Should similar conduct in connection with any future proceedings, this court will not hesitate to take whatever action is authorized and necessary to protect the integrity of the proceedings, the safety of the court personnel, and the orderly administration of justice. I thought this was actually a great speech. I think this was a great speech because, unfortunately, we are seeing a normalization of misuse of courts over and over again. But that's that. I mean, if they want to say that's towards me, I don't give a shit. I don't really give a shit. I'm absolutely never going to apologize for covering people misusing law enforcement or court proceedings for a personal vendetta. Not going to happen. And I'm not going to apologize. What Julie did, what BJ has done with using courts for their own personal vendettas disgusts me. And it should more people. It carries on. The parties and all others associated with this matter are expected to move on from this dispute, refrain from further conduct that perpetuates hostility, harassment, or public attacks arising from these proceedings. The court remarks directed equally to all persons involved and are made solely for the purpose of preserving the integrity, dignity, and security of the judicial process. Having said that, he reads the summons number, complaint number, against Craig is dismissed at the victim's request. He does the same thing with BJ, and then he says, please enter an expedited expungement on both matters. All proceedings in this court are completed. Regarding the matter, they say thank yous, and that's about it. Then he tells BJ and Craig that they are able to leave. There you go. Any questions?
Your
Okay. I think that's as good as it gets. Oh my gosh, Rebel Soul, my hand hurt so bad. Like my wrist was throbbing because I was like trying as fast as I could to do as much as I could. Of course, I couldn't get every little single word, but I got the majority of like the big things that were really important to me. I definitely got those pretty accurate. Yeah, and you know what? This is going to be a similar thing across courts because they don't understand what's going on with this. They have no idea. This is not a world that they live in or even can recognize. I thought the judge's statements were very, very straightforward, and I 100% fucking agree with him. Absolutely agree with him, and that's why I will continue to cover and mock the shit out of these LawCows. If they don't like it, I don't give a shit. And hats off again to allegedly speculating, because not once was she shunned, shamed. He actually praised how accurate she was. And Cam, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Welcome to the cabana. Appreciate you. 58 and fabulous, having been on the transplant list for 2 years without success. That better not be a lie. Oh gosh, I hope not. Thank you for the support. That would be rough. But I don't think that's something anybody would. I would hope not. I mean, that's a pretty extensive lie. But then again, I don't know who is feeding this information. It's being said that it could be shared, but we know how this space works. So there's that. I'm still curious what the fuck was this supposed bombshell information that was coming out, because I had no idea today was going to go this way. First of all, I was shocked that BJ and Craig showed up. Mouth probably dropped on the floor like, oh shit, there they are. And the camera was on. And they were both present. And they both said, yes, sir. Like, they were incredibly respectful. I don't know what people thought, but they were. But they were there. They showed up. But I don't think nobody that I spoke to had predicted that this was going to be withdrawn. Absolutely not. So I don't think that was the bombshell. Ronnie G, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Welcome to the cabana. Appreciate you.
These things, these are from another planet. Things are not glow in the black light. Fuckers aren't. They glow. It's not real. It's an alien that attack us. It's not a bug. It's a fucking alien. Yeah.
And Cam, that's been a rumor going around for the last couple of days. There was like an entire countdown done to some bombshell information that was supposed to be coming out on Britney, I guess. I don't know. I didn't hear any of this. Like, I don't talk to any of the parties involved in any of this. I have just been covering their own words, how we got here, what has happened, the judicial proceedings, learning that process, a spectator. Of course, I have strong opinions. When you lie about me numerous times over and over, I'm going to have strong opinions. It's weird. Okay. Any questions? Is there any part of this you guys want me to repeat or go over? Allegedly speculating, are you here? You might be working on your video. Please make sure that when allegedly speculating drops her video, you go click that like button and share it out. I think it should be not downplayed at all, that the fact that she got props from the municipal prosecutor who's watched her video like 3 or 4 times and was like, oh, I've learned shit from this. I mean, okay, sir, say less. Part of me thinks he would have been likely to want her as a counterpart. Like, it was so wild. Came for a bombshell, got a kidney. I mean, I saw with Jackie G. Thank you so much. Love your channel. It's good to be back here again. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it was being stated and rumored around that there was supposedly some big bombshell information coming today. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Aunt Maddie. Absolutely rightfully so, though. She should, Ronnie. She should send him a bill. Yeah, I don't know. Could have been. SS, 3 sentences or less. Julie withdrew her complaint. In the court today, the prosecutor was worried about his integrity with what was said in the last hearing about being her neighbor and possibly, I don't want to recuse myself. That was mentioned. And then the judge basically, they both stated that this is not, the judicial process should not be weaponized. In essence, Brittany and Craig were there and present. Julie withdrew her complaint for personal reasons. And it's all my fault, SS. Every bit of it's my fault. Julie, I guess, even though Julie's not even saying it's my fault, but it's my fault. We're cool with that, though. Yeah, I guess so, Stitching. I don't know. So you say thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Welcome to the cabana. Appreciate you. I mean, one time for the one time, because listen.
Bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble head. Bobble be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble head. Bobble be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble head. Bobble be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble head. Bobble be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble 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 be bobble head.
I mean, there's that. Don't go lying in police reports. Chase some waterfalls instead. Do something else with your time, because look, it's too much. Nope. Sunflower, nope. I mean, did she look sleepy? Potentially. What, if anything, was said regarding the recording of the prosecutor meeting? Is there investigation? So that was stated before. That was not confirmed today. The only thing that was actually really mentioned was there was confirmation that it has been reported appropriately. That's what I emailed the prosecutor. The only interaction I've had with the court at all was just forwarding them the actual direct link of the original video with the email that I was sent. But there was no, like, they did mention that that itself could be an indictable offense, of course, but no follow-up on that. I do not know if they intend on pursuing that any further or not. I don't know if they even can. I think it did find some flaws in their system, if I'm being honest, and they have learned to secure things a little bit better. I think that might have been like an error. I'm not really sure. I do think, however, it was still a third party. I will always say that. Yeah, of course she can refile this at any time. She can file private citizens complaints on fucking anything. Honestly, there's no reason why she can't. But the RO has been dismissed in Superior Court, so meaning she had no merit for the accusations or these threats. That was dismissed, and now these have been withdrawn. So why would you turn around and refile? I mean, of course she can, but what are you going to get out of it? Crackerjacks, thank you so much for being a member for 3 months. Appreciate you. I'm running through these. Can you address why you called the prosecution and the witness? What? The prosecution? Again, Chico? They're doing this again? I mean, why am I not shocked? The one and only phone call I made was to the court clerk, who told me to contact the prosecutor directly to get him the email with the original link to the Mr. Docket Dude video that I was sent in the email, which I did. That was it. That was all. There was no discussion about anything other than here is the original email that was sent to me. Here's the forward of it. That was it. And witness intimidation, where? Me covering her own words will never be witness intimidation. Sharon, thank you so much for being a member for a month. I appreciate that. What's a setup? Julie withdrew. How the fuck is this a setup when Julie is the one? Did they all know that Julie was going to go in and fucking withdraw? How is this? How is this a setup? What? Some of you people just confuse the shit out of me. Exactly. Exactly. Stop using the court. It is, Bex. It's absolutely a waste of time and resources. And that's why I spoke out against it from jump when we started realizing how ridiculous it is. And I will continue. This was a Lauren Matthias situation. I'm going to withdraw because I don't want to be made an embarrassment out of, because again, like, look at this. This is fucking irritating as shit. If you actually think about this, this is actually fucking irritating. So once again, you're going to fucking withdraw your complaint because she's going to get a public defender and have somebody defend her. So again, shows that Julie expected to win by default. And when that didn't happen and she couldn't blame everybody else for her bullshit, she took the what? I don't understand this. Yeah, I never sent anything to the court. And like I say, like I told somebody in Queens earlier when I stopped in there to correct a few things, prove it. Prove that the prosecutor got anything from me. Go ask him. Have Julie ask him. Have fucking Julie ask him. I understand that Granny and Clue were not going to release the bombshell because the case was dismissed. It had something to do with BJ calling the prosecutor and what she said. Well, of course they're not going to release that, because if it was private information that was communicated by BJ to the prosecutor and then he told Julie and she ran and told other people, that could fire her right back in the fucking direction. I mean, duh. And I'm not saying that to you, Lauren, but like, what? Of course you're not going to. I mean, what? Oh my God, how many times did the prosecutor see the bobblehead of Julie? I'm dying. Darcy, I don't fucking know. Thank you for the support. He didn't say. I wonder if he likes I'm really disappointed, though. There was no mention of, I don't know. There might be a police report out there that has butt plugs falling from the sky. Everything we heard before this live, in fact, was the exact opposite, Kathy. What is being said that I am saying opposite? This is shorthand notes. Like, what are people saying? This is exactly what went down. And like I said, if you don't believe me, opera request it and hear it for yourself. Yeah, if they want to get down to who that was. There's also a rumor going around. I did hear this, that somebody said it was confirmed that it was the SD account. No, it was just mentioned that those were the participants in the Zoom at that time on the screen. It was never confirmed that it was SD that recorded. That is wrong also. Somebody wants me arrested for witness intimidation. Oh, fuck. What happened to this whole, we don't believe her anyways, and we will not support her lying to the courts? Where'd that energy go? Oh, fucking goalpost move. Oh, nonsense. Intimidated her. She actually said under oath that nobody intimidated her, that she chose to withdraw on her own. I mean, blame her, not me. Wiretapping? The fuck? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Julie tapped out others involved in a frivolous litigation. Only wish they had that choice. I agree. Hey, Tammy. Good to see you. That's what Clue and company are pushing, that they want me arrested for witness. Oh, Jesus. I wonder if that's why he got a fucking list of all my videos. Can you imagine that poor guy? It's raining butt plugs tonight. In honor of Mr. LaSalle, if you were watching, I'm sorry to violate your eardrums, but here you go.
Well, I just couldn't believe it. I swear I'm not on drugs. They were raining down right on me, as heavy as jazz.
come from God Almighty's butthole, far up in the sky.
It's raining butt plugs.
Butt plugs. It's raining butt plugs.
Butt plugs.
I cannot tell you why. Sex.
Yo, Kenna, since you're the one out here saying this, in fact, your direct words were, in all caps, nonsense needs charged with witness intimidation, and y'all need to leave Granny out of your BS. Your friend, Kenna, withdrew and under oath stated that none of that is true. So again, please slow your roll. You look like a jackass. I don't think she is done. Julie is never up to any good. Yeah, Soup, to your comment too, that's what I'm confused by. Is this what they were expecting? Was her to withdraw? You know how it goes. Once the narrative is formed, it doesn't matter what you say. I gave up fighting that a long time ago. I corrected a few last night. I don't give a shit any more beyond that point. Let it fly. I mean, I intimidate my cigarette more than I intimidate Julie Skolnick. I've never had any contact with Julie Skolnick whatsoever. In fact, Julie Skolnick was the one reaching out to people trying to intimidate me from covering her. So I would be very careful with what you guys hope for. Thank God I'm not Julie Skolnick. They think the big secret of why BJ missed court was a setup. They were told BJ told the prosecutor a lie about which she missed court. They think they were set up to get a rumor out. What? BJ just didn't fucking show for court the last time. And he said at that point in time, if they didn't show this time, he would entertain motions for a bench warrant. It never got there. And Julie is now saying that she basically withdrew because of personal matters, upcoming kidney surgery, and BJ was going to get a public defender, and that, I don't know. I have no idea, but it sounds to me, because in the very beginning of this, the prosecutor said that Julie had said in the the days previous, they had talked about this in the last couple days that she intended on withdrawing. Yeah, Chewy's mom, I agree. Oh, JR, thank you for that. I mean, we can easily opera request it. It's super easy to get. Yeah, I mean, so they were set up because they were believing rumors that were being ran to him. I mean, that sounds like an intentional dumbass move on theirs. Nobody else's fault. If they were believing fucking bullshit told to them supposedly by Julie of what she told the prosecutor, sounds to me like Julie's the one that set him up again. You texted me the bombshell. Can I play this? Oh, really? So Brandy Wine's post on X. I heard there's something going down in 5 days. That's the date of Julie's court date. BJ, any idea? I have no clue, but here for it. Okay. So there was a rumor swarming of why Brittany didn't show up before. You guys realize, worst case scenario, even if found guilty, she would have gotten slapped with probably like $100 fine and a very petty misdemeanor that would have done nothing. What? Let's see what else. Why'd Julie delete her videos the other day? Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Stitching 100%. Yeah. Absolutely, Uncam. That's the thing. It was so funny because it was obvious. It was my videos, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Hi, I'm right here. Right. if I was going to send videos, I wouldn't have been like, here's all mine. Go watch mine. No, no thanks. That would have been stupid. Hey, Hennessy. I don't know. I don't know. And he could have easily misstated what he got. Like, I was sent these videos by a woman in Arizona, or, you know, he could have easily misrepresented that himself. Who knows? Sorry, I'm skipping forward because you guys are fucking on the shit. The chat is flying. Possibly. Who knows? But yes, she can refile if she chooses to. I mean, it's a New Jersey law. Private citizens complaints exist. Ken is one of the ones saying that I need arrested for. The wind just picked up. Sorry. Okay. Is there any questions about that, though, that I need to reread you? I think that's pretty much all there is to it. It's dismissed. I mean, the RO was dismissed. I don't know why anybody was not honest about that. It was pretty obvious, though, to me, and I stated as such in the most recent police filings that she wasn't asking to violate Craig. I was pretty sure that had already been dismissed, but I got confirmation finally that it absolutely was dismissed. I mean, continue to accuse me of crimes. I don't give a fuck. I'll wait for any of you to ask for fucking proof. Yeah, I did not email the prosecutor videos, my own fucking videos. Never did. And the prosecutor even said that they were against Julie, like not on Julie's behalf. People, he got sent all my fucking videos. What are you missing, Halloween baby? There's really not much to this. Julie Skolnick decided to be the martyr, wanted to be the martyr, wanted to be seen as a hero, wanted to fit in and be accepted, and saw BJ and Craig as an easy target, was banking on the hate of BJ for what she has done to other creators, decided to get sloppy and use quotes that were never directly towards her or necessarily in a threatening manner. And she continued to file false police reports. And I say they were false police reports because they were blatant lies. And then the RO in Superior Court was dismissed, and now she withdrew her private citizens' complaints against Brittany and Craig. But that's it. Gray may sue you for that impersonation of him last night, Casual Arts. Thank you for the support. To clarify, Brandy Wine did not write that message. Yeah, it says right there, this is not me. It says right on the message, this is not me. She just reposted it. People should probably start reading things on their screens, but I mean, is there anything else that I need to, now for those in the back, leave? No, fuck it. I don't really give a shit. Say what they want. The lies haven't stopped from jump. I don't expect them to now. We anticipated this. I've called this from jump when Julie didn't get her way that I would be blamed for it because I stood against it. And thank you, Bog. Sorry. I didn't even thank you for that. Absolutely. Allegedly speculating, you guys. She's an amazing true crime channel. She's extremely ethical. I don't know. And here's the thing. I don't want to hear another fucking one of you pearl clutching idiots say a goddamn word when there was like 10 of you motherfuckers in there doing the exact same thing. So don't say shit. At least we take accurate notes and don't try to push a narrative UA and look like a fucking dumbass. God, I feel sorry for some of you that you were blessed with fucking Swiss cheese brains. TLDR, Julie is a liar and nonsense, told y'all. Thank you, Aisha, for being a member for 6 months. Appreciate you. It's okay. We're all good. No. For being a mean poopy head. God damn it, nonsense. How do you use her own words? I mean, fucking try it. I don't like courts, but I'm learning how this fucking shit goes, so whatever. Ask me if I care. Yes, Your Honor, I did make a video, and then I took it to TikTok, and TikTok selected the sound that butt plugs were falling from the sky. I sure did. Yep. Even my booty hole clenched when it picked that song, but I went with it because you know what? Happy Pride Month. Oh, that was harassment? Okay, well, clench a little harder. I mean, I'd love to see that police report, like I said. I would like to see that investigated too, Belinda, because I think that was an intentional setup all along, especially with how that person that was emailing that ended up continuing and then playing games back and forth of like, oh, I didn't give you permission. And then like the back and forth that they were doing with Queen and myself was very obvious that they were up to some fuck shit. So I think, and I've said it all along, I think Julie and BJ both had motive and intent to do something like that. But I think it's been a third party fucking around for shits and giggles to cause chaos all along, hoping that they would escalate this bullshit even further. Most likely Julie is the one. I mean, I have no idea who sent it, but it wasn't me. I got the Shaggy defense. Wasn't me. I mean, UA didn't do anything wrong. UA attended a public trial, just like the rest of us did, but she just obviously sucks at hearing or note-taking or existing. I mean, are we shocked? Are you fucking shocked? When you need a useful idiot, I would think that she would be the last one you would call, but it's like Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? Definitely not UA. Oh, she was giving in real-time updates? Queen texted me, and I told Queen right off the jump when we knew it. Like, I just told Queen accurate information, though, and she was accurate in her reporting. Queen texted me, I texted her back and told her exactly what I knew at that point in time, and it was accurate, and she gave an accurate description of what was said, too. That was it. That was all. I just said she's withdrawing. That was it. I don't know what UA said. I frankly don't give a shit. I really don't. I just laughed when I saw her in there because I was like, oh God. Out of everybody, you sent her. I mean, there was more. And you know what's really funny is there was more from their side there. I could put their names out here, but I'm not going to because that's not what this is. Never has been for me, but there were many of them on that side that were present that know what I just went over is an accurate breakdown of what went on. And it's really funny to me to watch these people because I know exactly who it is run around and not say shit. But again, if you want to hear it yourself, opera request it. It is your right to do, and you will get the recording. Okay, what else do we have? No, that is not true. There is no information. There was nobody accused of the recording. There was no name put on who recorded it. It was stated that those were the present parties during that Zoom call. That's what was said. It was repeated again. Exactly. This isn't a win for anybody. I don't know if anybody is if anybody is celebrating, they should fucking bang their head into a goddamn wall. This is actually a misuse of our justice system and an embarrassment to LawCows. Last time I knew he was in Texas running from Jake. Yeah. It was not even implied today that he was the one responsible for the recording. just that somebody infiltrated and recorded it and disseminated it online, and it has been reported. Like I said, the only communication I've had with the prosecution or the prosecutor at all has nothing to do with Julie's case or BJ whatsoever. It was simply to give him the original, forward him the original email with the original link to the video by the person who sent it to me. So if they choose to investigate further, they have that, because Julie didn't provide it in her police reports or contact information of how to even get that information from Queen or myself. Nope, I'm not in my pool. I am not in the pool. My armbands have not came in, so I cannot appropriately swim. I might sink. The goalpost will be moved again. Sure, the spin room has been busy today. I've heard they have been really, really busy. Kind of like a fucking Tetris. When one block crumbles, the other one falls. Oh, hold up. One good thing out of today, Jake Lang was charged in Texas, and he's being held on $1 million bond. Right. Pink. Yeah. It's ridiculous. He had a case. He wasn't the one recording. Well, nobody took a loss. The system took a loss. Our justice system is what takes a loss in these situations. Our police department, waste of resources is who takes the loss in these things. There's no winning in this at all for anybody. This is absolutely a misuse of justice, the justice system and the police department for fucking what? Some fucking shitty poopy words over the fucking internet because you provoked a reaction, and then as soon as you got one, you wanted to cry foul. Right, Aisha. Yeah. Body made a post if you want to go look at it. Allegedly speculating and me were being trashed with the updates? Of course. Of course we were. Especially if it comes from UA, because she has a comprehension fucking issue and always has. You want to see? You want to remember UA's comprehension issue? Here, let me show you. Let's see. Let's just take it a little back to when she appeared on this, because UA, you should probably just shut the fuck up. I mean, I really don't fucking care. Continue to talk for all I give a shit. Messy is as messy will be.
Was being shown all over the internet. And I was stunned. And I went in the next morning after we had Passover Seder. We got about 10.
That part, because at the end of the day, this didn't cost Julie a fucking dime. I want to remind you that her Superior Court pursuit of an RO didn't cost her a fucking dime. Her weaponization and use of the municipal court wanting felonies to begin with didn't cost her anything either. It was the taxpayers in New Jersey that lost once again.
10 minutes into it before I had a freaking breakdown at the table, like so upset. Everybody was in shock that it was all over the internet. I couldn't believe the invasion of privacy. And I went in the next morning. I never talked to anybody but my own family. And then I went back on the 9th. I didn't talk to anybody. I talked to, Petty was the only person who I reached out to ask, I'm sorry, no, there was one other person who didn't return an email that I asked the same thing, because I believe Petty to be an honest person, a fair person, and a person who makes up their own mind about things. When I saw Petty in chats or whatever saying I was a liar and stuff like that, it really hurt my feelings. And I said, I wrote to her and I said, I'm appealing to your sense of fairness, because I haven't been able to talk about these cases. Just the same thing I said to nonsense when I called her a coward. I said, people know that if you are in if you're in a legal case, you can't speak freely about everything in a
You haven't shut up. Let me just be clear, Julie. If you try this shit again, maybe try not lying to police. Number one. Secondly, maybe try not lying in the complaint that you filed to the court. Maybe try being honest for once at your age, since you have an issue with your age. That's a you thing, not a me thing. You've said it, not me. Maybe try being honest and stop getting your feelings hurt over shit you instigate.
legal case. So I have not been able to defend myself in the way that I would want to. And I know that nonsense is telling many lies, including lying by omission, meaning she didn't play the threats in all those damn live streams, hours and hours of live streams. She wasn't playing the threats. And I wrote to her and I said, I'm appealing to your sense of fairness. And if I recall correctly, I said to Petty, you don't have to agree or disagree with me at the end of it. I'm only asking that you hear my side of things, not just one side of things. And she agreed. And I said, you could ask me any question you want. I'll show you any document you want. I can't show it on the internet. You just can't. I asked her that she not record it, that she not, screenshot anything I show her. And that, and I'm an open book for questions and tell you this. I played for Petty the threats. And she asked me questions. She asked me about does it say on the temporary protection order that they have to.
Next time you call me a coward, remember, when you cry that you might not wake up tomorrow, bitch is a fucking threat. It's the truth. None of us are promised tomorrow. Carry on.
Appear in person for the court date, right? And so I grabbed the thing and I showed on the screen. I said, yes, look here, in person. And she saw it. And she asked me if
Well, looky here. Number one trash bag in the house. I bet I know where some happy cops are today. Man, Belinda, should I send them a fruit basket, like some chocolate covered fruits minus the bananas? Because I don't want them to think I'm trying to put bananas in their butt or anything like that, since that fucking song is trending everywhere. But should we send them a fruit basket? Because I feel bad for those motherfuckers.
You know what else is trending?
What?
she asked me if Al was on the protection order, I said yes.
Thank you so much for being a member for 6 months too, trash bag.
Here it is. She asked me some questions. I showed her some things. And just like I said to her that you don't have to agree or disagree with me. All she said to me was, she never indicated if she thought I was right or wrong, but she also said, I will never take the human factor out of this in terms of threats, meaning like my interpretation of what she said was that, oh, I know what she was talking about, because she had said on a panel. Let me just get the story out. She had said on a panel. She had said on a panel. Petty had said on a panel, if I said to Queen Bee, or Queen Bee said to me, or somebody said to me, I'm gonna punch you or I'm gonna hit you, right? I would be like, ha ha ha, that's so stupid, or I wouldn't be worried, right? But if I said that to somebody else, or someone else said that to me, or whatever, they might be fearful of that, because it depends on, a whole bunch of factors, including your own personal history. And so there's a human factor involved in this. And I don't know, I'm probably 15 years older than Nonsense, Petty, Clue, Granny, right? Everybody.
You also, bitch, got a master's degree and are my elder, and you still fucked this up. Go on, teach me some more lessons about life, Julie, please. Oh, wise one.
That have been commenting on these things. And there's a difference, I I'll listen. I mean,
Sure.
I'm a strong person, but I mean, that's all she said to me, and she knew nothing of it, but I appreciated her willingness to hear my side of things and to,
So what you're saying is she
Let-
listened to you, but she did not have any knowledge that you were filing anything about that. You didn't tell anybody that the prosecutor had
I
put
didn't
you.
tell anybody anything.
That's what I needed to know.
Okay. I have some questions to try and get things like pointed questions to try and get things kind of back on track a little bit.
I'm trying to get. She had specific questions. She did not
Well,
want.
there is the useful idiot, number one. Step right up to the plate, UA. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't complain that the internet is too invested. Also, at the same time, tell everybody on the internet about it. Thank you, Body, for the support. And that is solid, very solid. You can't have it both ways. You cannot accuse people of crimes for your own bullshit and then expect people not to want to know what the fuck is going on. And this started from jump. As soon as I started reviewing her words, she started accusing me of heinous shit that wasn't even true. The narrative pushing was very, very present. And look, she's very lucky because this could have flipped way differently. But she's lucky that it was BJ. A lot of people would have gotten this thrown out and turned around and refiled on her shit in a heartbeat because she didn't shut up. She really never shut the fuck up, ever, about this. Cupcakes. Well, the funny thing is who the fuck is the witness? According to Julia, she was telling people a long time ago it was truth. Nobody intimidated that fucking douchebag. He creates old fabricated stories to give himself victimhood over. All you have to do is be a woman and say, nah, bitch, you're wrong. And he cries for fucking weeks. So, I mean, is that witness intimidation? Fuck. Probably. I should probably stop asking questions.
Questioned because she can't
Yeah.
live with them.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
I
these
did
are
say
just,
they were
these are things that aren't going to
correct.
fall within those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, do you like, you're just trying to avail yourself of the laws of your state with these.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. And this is basically, you have what I've said too is there's people have perception. What Craig has said is something that you perceived as a threat to you at the
Yes.
time.
Well, I want to make a statement here about something. I didn't report the first threat until after the second threat was made. The first threat was made in the first week of December. I didn't report that till the second threat was made around on or about, and every time I went.
December 4th happens to be the date of the incident on these private citizens' complaints, just in case anybody wants to know
To the police
details.
station, I said on or about because, Brittany starts her lives on one day and ends on another day. And then for the first threat, she had deleted, she deletes every live stream where there's a threat and others as well. So when I didn't report the one from the first week of December till after the second threat, that's when I was like, wait, this is serious. Okay. Because basically I let the first threat slide. In other words, I didn't know how serious it was or wasn't. But when he made the second threat, I knew he made a threat to me on the first week of December. When he made the second threat, that's when I reported the second threat and the first threat. So I didn't report the first threat at first. And I had to go back and use other creators' live streams to try to figure out the date of the first threat because I hadn't recorded it. And, some people review her the day of, the day after, 2 days after. So I was going to different channels using other channels' reviews to give an estimate of when the date was. Nonsense was so damn hung up on different dates, which is immaterial.
I mean, yeah, I get hung up on dates because there's a timeline of how events lay themselves out, and it's important. Facts are important. I guess that kind of doesn't translate in your head when you're just like, hell, I don't give a fuck. Give me anything to try and hem them up.
To the case. They don't care if the threat was made on the 5th, 6th, or 7th of December. It doesn't matter. Is this you? Is this, you know, your voice? Is
Yeah. Can I just take this moment to encourage any of you? Come out and fucking tell me what I lied about Julian. Julie, my question to you, because I'm sure you're here. Are you going to become honest with your friends and your subs? Or are we going to get to the point where I have to do it again? Are you going to come out and tell everybody how you've been sending select information and court papers around and pushing narratives about what's supposedly being said to prosecutors and so on? Are you going to become honest about that? And how disappointed you are in your friends for not protecting your honor and not standing up for you? And actually being ashamed when it was presented over and over again that you were lying in courts? Are you going to get honest about it? Or am I going to have to do this again? You know, my coward ass wouldn't want to have to once again hit you with the fucking truth. Since I'm such a fucking coward.
this what you said? Can we prove it? Yes. Okay. Does it matter that it was on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th? No, not in terms of the law.
Just Samantha, I have no idea how people got such a different perception. There was a few pieces, like a few sentences that I missed. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if allegedly speculating is in here or not, but listen to my synopsis. And then when she breaks hers down, she'll have more, like probably the stuff that I omitted or didn't catch and probably more specific words. But there was certain pieces that I was frantically fucking getting because I wanted it verbatim because it was important to me. And I made sure that I fucking got it verbatim. I don't know how things got so misconstrued. I really don't understand that. Intentional, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really fucking shocked because we have some spin master fucking flexes out here that do that constantly. But they failed epically. And like I said, it is your right to opera request this. If you don't believe any of us, opera request it. Get the court audio. Listen to it. Come back and tell me what the fuck we got wrong. Check me. I dare you.
Right. Okay. And I remember it being said that originally they were looking at a higher charge, which would have meant that the police, what you turned over to the police and the prosecutor, that,
like, what is being twisted though? What is being twisted? I don't understand how this is being even twisted. There is court audio available. Like, how stupid do you have to be to come out here and lie about something that is publicly available information? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, they're fucking extremely important for court cases. Like, what? Well, you won't get the court transcripts, but you will get the audio. They have to send it out for transcripting. That's something we found out that they don't do automatically, but you can get the court audio and hear this entire 30-minute interaction. Exactly. Like, this is so wild to me. Totally opposite. I swear it's like a different conversation. There were several screaming to the rooftop to stop tearing you apart. No response from all. What? What? I'm so confused by this. Do you want me to run you a summary again? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, get the audio. This is crazy to me. how could that even be misconstrued? How can this even be misconstrued, though? I'm really confused by this. Were they potentially getting updates from multiple people that were intentionally misinforming them? I was shocked, Elizabeth. I was 100% not expecting it to go that way. First of all, I wasn't expecting BJ and Craig to show up. Secondly, I was not expecting Julie to withdraw. And third, I was not expecting the post that we just saw with the excuses of why she's withdrawing. If you're claiming that you're being further harassed and more is going on, that would make you go the other way. Yeah, I haven't either, body, so I have no idea what's being said. That a lot of people are saying that, well, the audio you can get for free, Darcy. Yeah, the answer is the truth. Like, here's the fucking facts of what actually went down. Like, I don't have to do any of this other weird shit. That's so fucking weird. They made it sound like it was dropped because you made videos covering Julie. Let me read you this statement once again. Julie's direct statement. Hold on. Fuck no, don't give two shits. I will never, ever highlight that person on my channel. Nah, she has been... No. Nope. No, no, no. No disrespect to you, but you... No way. I won't. Let me see where to go. Okay, so Julie's own statement, which was absolutely the formal process of making sure that she did this on her own accord, was followed up by the judge, and she agreed to all of it. Her statement says, Your Honor, for reasons of an important personal and time-dependent matter, I'm asking the court to allow me to withdraw all my citizens' complaints against the parties involved. The need for my request to withdraw all complaints in this case is known to the prosecutor and is of sensitive nature that my family and I wish to remain private. So I humbly ask, make this request to Your Honor on my own without pressure or influence of others. Thank you. Sorry, wind. That's exactly what she said.
Evidence has been clearly, it seems like, even by what has been reported, has been reviewed by that prosecutor, because it seems like they have looked at the elements of the law and determined that it fell to the lesser elements, right?
So here's something that people don't know, which is that because
that is actually exactly what we found out. Notorious Ash, they don't even send them out for them to be transcribed. Yes, of course, if necessary, there is a cost, and of course they can do that, but that is not standard procedure. You can just request the audio, and you can transcribe them yourself or give a synopsis. I mean, it's really not that hard.
This is a fairly new law in New Jersey, and yes, the courts are overwhelmed with cases. There are several counties in New Jersey, I've done this research now, including my own county, where the law was written, the way the law was written, cyber harassment law, it's, if you look it up, it's a felony 4, which is supposed to be tried at the county level, right? In several counties in New Jersey, including my own, they have not prosecuted one case of cyber harassment. They routinely downgrade the charges and send them to municipal court. And that's why the prosecutor was saying yesterday and has said before, this doesn't belong in municipal court. The prosecutors are getting fed up with the county sending these cases that are supposed to be tried in the county level, just dropping down the charges.
And this once again goes to prove that what we have been saying all along, that the state did not pick this up. These are private citizens' complaints. She wouldn't have been able to just request dropping these charges if it was picked up at the higher level by the county prosecutor or whatever. This is a municipal prosecutor. This is a formality of how these cases go.
Automatically and sending it down. If you look in my county, which is Passaic County, everybody knows now, Passaic County, as far as my research showed me, they have not prosecuted one case at the county level. They always send it to the municipalities, and my county probably has 750,000 people in it. So there's many towns.
UA was like unrealistically pissed the other day. Like, she's been weird.
To go down the line.
File
I'm gonna bump it
if they're
UA talks again, because she has had a chronic issue with being honest.
Oh, let me tell you something. The prosecutor and the judge in my
No,
case.
sweet sativa, the RO is gone. The RO has been dismissed. All of it is gone, sweet sativa. That was dismissed and concluded, which was confirmed in the last court hearing by the prosecutor. However, it was not told that it was dismissed, and it has been dismissed. Granted, has she refiled? I have no idea, but no, it is not upstanding.
Case are, older than me, okay? They might not know the internet's ins and outs, but they know a threat when they hear it.
Right. One of the things that I think is a lot of people have relied on is the fact that, it is over the internet. It's just.
Listen, I have no idea, and I'm not even going to speculate why she chose to withdraw it. I really don't know. I was shocked that she did, especially with her claims, whatever is being, like, if this is actually what she is saying, if this is her words right here, and she is the one writing this, and it is being put out there as fact, I don't know. This is just Brandy Wine's Twitter post. From what I understand, she just reposted this. But if it is true, this seems extremely counterproductive to drop complaints if the harassment has only intensified. I don't really get what's going on here, but the big portion of this right here was her acknowledgement that BJ was going to request a public defender. That seems to be problematic for her, because she has at every step of the way wanted to win by default. So I have no idea. I was stunned that she withdrew.
Words. However, I'm going to just mention the fact that there was very recently what happened in Las Vegas between two content creators where two people lost their lives over a strike war.
Right.
And I think that sometimes it's easy for people to dismiss things that are being said because it is, quote unquote, just the internet.
How about, this is just a guy.
Yeah, Wabi Sabi, I'm extremely confused by that.
Who's drunk. I'm sorry.
Right.
There's no crimes committed while people are drunk.
Correct. What's to me is dangerous to go down the line of thinking that just because someone hasn't done something before, that they won't do it in the future. And that, that you can predict the future and predict what I believe is an unpredictable person who has proven himself to be unpredictable.
Right.
And
that was my personal speculation. I will be willing to say that. Proud for Mom, I personally speculated the same, because he was present today, and this is, it's taken on a life of its own. She has filed over 15 police reports. There has just been escalating bullshit. And at some point in time, this is ridiculous. Brianna says, and tonight, Beach gets a victory lap she didn't earn for a win that gives her victimhood she didn't deserve. All for nothing. I hate this place. Bree, thank you for the support. And I called that from jump. I said that this was going to be that, but nobody should be celebrating because she has misused the courts herself for personal vendetta, and so has Julie. And again, tell me how that differs. It doesn't. They're one and the same as far as weaponization and misuse of the courts. And that's that. Whether you like it or not, I don't give a shit. It's the truth.
And he has shown, I've seen him wave a gun on the internet intoxicated. That's not a rational person to me. And I've heard
Serenity, again, I will repeat myself for the 999 times, 1000th time. The only thing that I sent the prosecutor was the direct email that I was sent by the Docket Dude link that contained the original link to the Docket Dude video by the person who emailed it to Queen and myself. That was all that I sent the prosecutor. That's it. That's all. You can rewind to the beginning and hear what was said by the prosecutor today. Somebody did absolutely email the prosecutor an entire fucking spreadsheet of my videos on Julie. Sure did, but it wasn't me. And yes, a woman in Arizona got mentioned, which is me. Those were my fucking videos done on Julie. But it sure as fuck will never come from me. And it's about time people start asking for fucking proof. Because some of y'all are just fucking biting bullshit over and over and looking stupid as fuck.
them talk
It's not to Serenity.
about DV.
Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second before y'all go any further. Allegedly speculating, you can come in my chat and I'm gonna treat you much more respectful than Miss Nonsense spoke to me yesterday. And I know you was in her chat when she talked to me
Yo, bitch, you still a shit stain on this community.
like I was crap. I'm gonna speak to you much more respectful. Don't come in my chat and think that you're gonna come in here and treat people disrespectful, especially not someone on my panel. You can come in here, you can act like an adult. If you want to act like you have hold on a minute. And you can act like you had an education and you think that you're this, that, and another when you go into a court. You're going to act like you have any sense. You're going to act like it in my panel. I might not have but one person in here. I might have 4,000 in here. But you'll act like you got some sense when you're in my panel.
I love the fact that she went off and just completely went unhinged. Sorry, allegedly speculating. That was my fault. She took me calling her a shit stain on the community out on allegedly speculating, who, again, got shouted out from the prosecutor today for her accurate videos on this situation. Who's the dipshit now?
Room in my panel. I don't care where you're at.
She's been pretty. She's been respectful.
She wasn't respectful yesterday when she took a dig and said, I had a big forehead. I don't want to look like Julie with a big forehead.
Yeah, I'm saying in this chat, she has been. And if she has.
We don't talk about people's looks. If you can't attack on what are the facts, then you can leave or you can be banned. I don't give a crap either way. And that's your choice.
Okay.
Take that.
Okay? Now back to the panel.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Y'all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's been respectful. And I'm hoping that
Zoe, no, unfortunately, that did not make it to the chat today. I was waiting for it. Your Honor, she says it's raining butt plugs, and I got a brain injury from it.
She's talking about looks like Julie, I don't know what your looks have got to do with this. Julie, this, that, and another. And I'm Beetlejuice, and I'll pop up where I want to. Well, you can pop up in here, but you're not going to be disrespectful up in here.
Yeah.
Well, I just want her. I do want her here because I want her to hear.
I want her here. I want her to hear what's going on. But
I want her to hear this part too.
She's going to be respectful in my room. I was treated very rudely yesterday.
This cracks me up, like looking at it now, and what UA is obviously attempting to do, because it sounds to me like UA is the one pushing some wild shit. UA, come on, dude. It's really not hard to be honest, and some of you just default lie. It's weird.
And
I know. I heard it.
I was trying to be nice.
It was awful.
I was trying to ask questions, and I was trying to be nice. I tried to go on panel, and I tried to ask questions, and instead, I was called a shit stain. I was called a wart in the community.
Sure did. Those are probably the nicest things I've called anybody in a long time. Shit stain and a word on the community. Goddamn, straight to jail. Fuck, oh dear. Whoops.
I was called a
Yeah.
weirdo, and I was trying to be very nice and ask questions. And all I try to do is try to be very nice. I'm not trying to be a storyteller. I'm trying to get the facts out. And if y'all want to have the facts out, then y'all would be respectful and listen to what's going on in the community. Instead, y'all are out there telling the story like you want to hear it. Don't twist the facts to meet the narrative that you want. You need to take the theory and let the facts run the theory.
This part right here is my favorite. Tell us again, Bitter. How does that work?
Like you want to hear it. Don't twist the facts to meet the narrative that you want. You need to take the theory and let the facts run the theory. The theory doesn't get twisted to meet the facts. And just because you have disdain for Julie does not mean that you have to just completely turn away from what the facts actually are. And it's apparent
And
that
I
there's
was
disdain
there
for
yesterday.
Julie.
You weren't. You were watching on a screen. You didn't see the body language. You didn't hear the intonations. You didn't see the.
Well, today we saw you, Julian. You had like a 1-lane highway available on your face with the comb forward of the hair. Look, it's cool. I get you were probably trying to hide your mole head.
You didn't see the.
Yes, I don't have to be nice. Don't expect me to be nice. I've taken so much shit for calling this woman's lies out. I'm over it. My petty self is in full effect.
Dynamics in the room. Okay, you were looking at the judge. That's all you saw.
Exactly.
You don't know. You don't
heard what
know
the
the
judge said,
smile
and
on
you-
his face when the and may I explain one thing to
Wait, let me go back. So, and there's somebody wanting to ask some questions, and Julie and I can go back to that. in a
So
minute.
are we gonna get, I'm with Chico. I'm with Chico. Are we gonna get to know like this fucking landslide information that would have changed everything and everybody's opinions now? Since she withdrew it, is she gonna come out and share all of this information that none of us were entitled to see and didn't have?
I mean, I will get her to go back to the neighborhood, about the prosecutor and then
ask her the rest of her questions.
but
Thank you.
and allegedly speculating. You're not even a part of, just like Julie addressed a minute ago, that she was a part of a conversation that you didn't even know about, that there was an investigation going into her being an investigation being conducted about that Mr. Docket thing. Julie has to protect herself. She can't be investigated for a felony that she had no part of. You didn't know what was going on.
I didn't commit a
I know
crime,
what was
lady.
convicted about.
I
What?
didn't commit a
Okay.
crime,
Speaking
but
of
you
Okay,
foil
so
me.
I'm sorry. Y'all can
Okay.
continue.
speaking of
You can
Mr.
see
Docket
body
Dude,
language. You can see body language, but you don't know what was happening in the days, the weeks, the months. You do not know what has been transposed. You do not know what has transpired between those people before you got there. You do
Well,
not know what.
hold on. Let me, Bitter, let me just say something really quickly in response to reading a judge's body language. A judge's body language, first of all, it could be based on what's being heard, or it could also be based on what you're not even being able to see as to what's going on in their courtroom. So by trying to read too much into body language when you're not able to see what actually is going on, I think is a little dangerous.
Well, guess what? We got to see what was going on today. We had a view of Julie and Al, the prosecutor. We saw him come in, speak with them, leave, come back in, them approach their little makeshift area there. And we got to watch all of that. And we got the judge's face today too.
Because
Could
it
she
could
see
be,
me on the screen?
you know,
She couldn't see me, right?
but
Did she answer?
Anyways, you see how this was after the last court date. You see what it is. Do I expect any more? No. I mean, this has been par for the course all along. But the one question I have is, I thought 99% of this community claimed they did not support Julie Skolnick. They knew she was a liar. So why is there this knee-jerk reaction that this is something out of left field for her to make all these claims and then withdraw? I thought none of these people supported Julie, but they were okay with her availing herself by the laws in New Jersey as long as she didn't lie. Well, seems to me like she has lied to her friends, the court, the police. I mean, those things have been proven time and time again. But I guess I'm confused because I thought that was the big push. Was it didn't matter what Julie said, who cares? It's going against BJ. Okay, we all understood that. But I thought there was this big, huge push. So why isn't it still being called out that Julie lied? That Julie let her friends believe she had this case and then obviously didn't tell them she intended on withdrawing and made them look like idiots again because they thought she was going to, quite the opposite, it sounds like, come out with some bombshell bullshit that was going to do something once again to disparage Brittany. Like, I'm so confused by this. But I would love to know. I would love to fucking know, why are people that have said all along they don't support Julie, they know Julie's a liar, shocked by this or upset by this? I guess I'm not following. Yeah, it's a shame that people couldn't be honest, Meredith. It's an absolute fucking shame that people couldn't be honest and ran narratives for a fucking liar who was weaponizing our courts. It's really too bad. I understand that, KNS, but it doesn't. Julie, it's still being said that there's this like disappointment that others of us intimidated her. Like, this is so fucking ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I know that's what they've claimed, that they had a mole or somebody, BJ had a mole, but I mean, how would they? Yeah, never mind. Let me just stop. I'm asking things that can't be answered because it's fucking bullshit. I mean, it should have never been filed to begin with, but it is what it is. Who? Except they said I relied on one of BJ's moles today. Who? For what? How did I rely on a BJ mole today? What? I attended the court hearing and heard it for my fucking self. How would I have relied on a BJ's mole? Nothing stated today came from anybody but the fucking court hearing. Right. I thought the big push was let the courts handle it. They will determine. Well, Julie withdrew. The courts determined. Okay, cool. What? Trusted the one word of BJ's mole. Nothing today that, oh my God, never mind. I'm not even fucking taking their bait. Like, fuck this shit. This is so fucking weird. Julie has a mole. Yeah, Julie has a fucking mole, not BJ. I don't get shit. I get shit from Julie's fucking friends all the time. I have all along. You guys have seen it. I push, she responds. Every time. Okay, and Silver Tea, you can rewind and read it or listen to me read it the first time, please and thank you. I don't want to read it again, honestly. I did good with it the first time. What? Okay, you're good. They're all arguing over Julie withdrawing her complaints like it was shocking to anybody. Oh, great. I don't know. People are fucking wild. Okay. Anywho, I think I'm done with this. That's where it stands. So let me check one more time. Skolnick. Yeah, this was Skolnick's response to today. I think this is so tone deaf, it's not even funny, but what do I know? I mean, it kind of started with I was being serious. Everything was reported the opposite in Granny's. Well, I don't know who they were getting fed their information from. It was if it was UA or if it was one of the other ones or multiple. That could be that it was multiple of them, but my reporting is pretty accurate to the actual statements being made. It's been said that BJ's had a mole for over a year. That isn't anything new. Is there any like major questions? Otherwise, I'll end this so you guys can go listen to it. Like I said, allegedly speculating is going to come out with a video and she'll do a synopsis, which is amazing. But I think this is where it is. I don't know what to predict. Do I think she's done? I would hope so. I would fucking hope so. I would hope after this experience that this wouldn't be something that you would participate in again. But hell, some people shock me every day. So I really don't know what to predict at all. I don't know. Absolutely, Mary Goldwyn. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to end, though. The reason I say that is because if what she's saying is true, are you really doing this to me right now? Do you really want me to fight with you? Body, how dare you put me on the spot like this? You know who's not my fucking favorite today, Body? I can tell you that. Oh, Bog, where are you? Guess what? I went into Ted's this morning. I'm unblocked. But guess what happened? As soon as I popped out of the fucking bushes, his mod, Vivi, decided to come at me because I was hard on Juice the other day. I said, do you realize this was all fucking like built up? Like JLR was trying to make this about race. That was what was happening. And she's like, well, you were mocking the way Juice handled it. Yeah, he was in great hands. They were extremely respectful to that man. It had nothing to do with his race that they were there. He had already been cited. Like the fact that they're trying to make it. No, I didn't get blocked, but she was taking shots at me. And I was like, get fucked. This is bullshit. Because JLR was absolutely setting this up to be a race thing. Right, Bog? That's what I was like. What the hell is this shit? We predicted exactly what they were using Juice for, unfortunately, way back in April. Why are kick people saying this has all been a setup? I mean, if it's a setup, look at no further than Julie Skolnick. Julie Skolnick is the only one that had control of what happened today throughout this proceeding. Anything. If Julie Skolnick set them up, then take that up with her. I don't know who else could be blamed for setting anybody up. Nobody. Like, this is just factually what has transpired in these court cases. Like I said, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. If you don't like our synopsises of it and you think you can gain another perspective, OPRA request the hearing. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Julie's the one that did all this. So if it's a setup, doesn't that fall back on their friend? That seems crazy to me. That seems like avoidance of the fact. That seems like, once again, avoidance of the reality of where we are. I just don't get it. I don't get that. You're welcome, Banana Del Rey. And Body, I avoided your question like the plague. Do you see how smooth that was? Smooth operator. I don't understand. It's kind of like it's being said that we set up chroma reels and cram it too. I don't know how that happened, but sure. Things that make you go, All right. With that, I'm out of here. We'll be back later. It's TED Day. Yeah, I don't even know how that would work. Like, that doesn't, like, I'm sitting here trying to process, like, how are they going to roll that? Because if there was a setup on this, then that would be the person feeding them information, which would be the supposed mole of BJ's and or Julie Skolnick would be. And then again, the question would be that why avoidance of calling Julie out? I don't know. I don't get it. Well, there's no confusion, Tyra. There's absolutely no confusion of what happened or transpired. So this is factually what went down. If you want to believe it, believe it. If not, go fucking get the audio yourself. I'm done fighting with people who just lie at every turn. The goalpost. We were fucking initially playing Connect 4 with these motherfuckers. Now we're playing fucking rugby. Like banging their fucking heads off the wall and shit. I don't even know. Oh, I don't care. Lazy Wolf, you know I don't care. I'm going to stand for the truth. Julie's the one that chose to lie all throughout. I have no skin in this game. Never have. But I think this just showed how deep some of the fuckery is. So that's that. All right. I hope you guys all have a great, wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you sometime soon. Bye. Have a good day.